dragging you.
Thank you.
Be carrying your ass.
Sound
Back
rolling.
is hurting. Shit. Ugh.
Camera rolling. Welcome back to another episode of this week's drop.
Yeah.
If you wonder why we're laughing, it's because Mr. Greaves over here is letting me know he's tired of carrying my ass. So
Back is hurt.
I got some good sleep, so hopefully I can bring my shit together. His back is hurt. Before we get the show started, I wanted to, and I'm trying to get these headphones set up right. I want to give a word out there to the folks out in the Midwest. I'm coming out to do the forum in Columbus, Ohio. I will be out there next week, flying in on Thursday. Show is on Friday. Go to SydneySmithCreative.com. Get your tickets. I know who you are. I know where you live. I know you're not far away. So come on out, get something that's funny. I'm going to be hitting the stage for 4 other brothers, man. It's going to be a great time. And then next day, I'm going to go see y'all lovable Buckeyes. So my Michigan folks, forgive me. But that's what's going on.
College town.
So this is this week's drop. I'm Sidney Smith with my co-host,
David Greaves.
What is good, Dave?
It's a beautiful day out here.
Yeah,
we
man.
finally dropped under 100 out here in AZ.
Ooh, I can get out here now. Well, you know what I got to do? I got to rush out here and get my Halloween shit up because I've done nothing outside in terms of getting the wife's like, "Where's the inflatables? We're gonna get those."
100 and hell out here last week. So,
and you're right because nobody in the neighborhood really had done except for a couple of people because it's been so damn hot. But I'm gonna get out there and get that done. Do you put up stuff for Halloween?
No, we don't do the Halloween thing. We do Christmas, and every once in a while we do kind of Thanksgiving, but we don't do the Halloween. That's the devil's day.
Well, I'm pumped up, man. My energy's up. My volume's up because my Lions won yesterday against the Minnesota Vikings. Pulled it off. Love to see my hometown squad able to do something like what they've been doing the last couple of seasons. It wasn't that long ago for a long time when it came down to the last 2 minutes and we had the ball driving down. You just knew the game was going to be over with a mistake. And not now. We did something yesterday.
I'm happy my boys didn't lose.
Yeah, well, y'all didn't play. So that's
it's not an L.
It's not neither here or there.
So take it as you can get it, bro.
Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Share if you enjoyed our 2 black faces. Share us with someone else. We would love it. Make sure you went ahead and you gave us a follow of the. Subscribe, please, and a follow for people out there who are listening to us, the audio version as a podcast. So, what's up?
Coins, stars, all that stuff.
All that stuff. He's right. It's coin, stars, all of that stuff. We would appreciate all of it. I'm trying to get this YouTube thing down. Mm-hmm. I don't have all the terminology. There's so many different things that you guys can do on YouTube.
Flowers and
all kind of stuff, man. So super chats. Well, can't do super chats because we're not doing live. See, there's so much stuff. Okay. So I got a lot to learn. But you guys out there are avid YouTube watchers, so you know what the hell I'm talking about. Just at least subscribe. I know that much.
Appreciate that.
And I got to start cutting this up. The other thing too, I noticed with you all, y'all don't like to watch entire shows. Y'all like to watch just like 15, 20 minutes of it. So I'm going to start having to make sure we get it all cut up too and everything. Hopefully that helps increase the eyes that want to come and check us out. But those of you who've already been doing it, we appreciate you. For those of you that want to just see me tell jokes, I do more than just that. I don't know what to tell you. There's more jokes coming as I get them polished up, get this new material, get the new hour polished. I feel comfortable sharing it. I'm trying to get better with that. But I have a trailer for a film that I wrote that's going to be coming your way as well, and more podcasts also. So my thing is content. And I do more than just tell jokes. So hopefully you guys will like it all. You
also have a ton of, 4 or 5 shorts. Is that what it's called? Movies?
Yeah. Yep. Shorts. And those are already up on the
amazing. I tell you, listen, get a chance. If you get a chance, check it out.
Yeah. You'll see Dave / Denzel Washington over here in section 17.
Yes. My starring debut.
Start and end.
Yes.
No, actually, no, your start was above the rim.
Yes. So
I think
I was in a commercial when I was a little kid.
Oh, okay. So that was just
my grandfather.
And then above the rim.
Yes, then above the rim.
And then section 17.
Yeah.
So I feel like we got the best of them actually in section 17. It was.
And now I'm my craft is.
Yeah. You know what you're doing now.
I'm in a SAG almost.
I mean, it was very training day like.
Yeah. Yes.
With the way you try to deliver it before the.
Yeah, till I had the director, correct my misguidance.
It was just a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. I was Trying to give it all at one sniplet.
I mean to be playing guy in bar seat and
guy number 3 in the bar seat.
And to turn around, those are just fake flowers. That was a lot.
Yeah, I did it well.
Yeah, you did. It only took 3 takes.
Yeah, but I just wanted to make sure I did it right. Perfect.
Hey, unlike our boy Revis.
Yeah.
First thing I shot Mother's Day, it took him 12 takes just to get walking correctly. So it was a lot.
It's not a natural thing for him.
It is not.
Love you, Revis.
Oh, yeah. If you're watching Walk now, you'll understand why it took 12 takes for me to get him to walk the way I needed him to, just in the opening scene of Mother's Day.
Yes, but we have some real hot topics coming up today.
Oh yeah. We got some good stuff. I just want to make sure this camera is still rolling while we're sitting here laughing and joking and having a good time. We're gonna get into some Big Meech. We're gonna get into some DJ Mustard's divorce. Gonna get some talk about you women, which I just shared that clip of us giving some women advice. You giving some good advice, which was do not share everything about your man with your lady friends.
Better not.
And you know what I thought about? I thought about I was with this woman years ago, and she had her sister wanted to come into town to visit, and she said, "Well, her sister's gonna have to find a hotel or something." And I said, "Your sister, you're not gonna let her stay here?" She said, "Don't no other woman stay in the house under the same roof with my man." And that was the first time I had ever heard a woman say something along those lines about another female.
But it also says something about her.
I would assume so, but it goes along with the advice that you gave, though, doesn't it?
Yes, but again, either you don't trust your sister, or you're not doing what you need to do, so you know that another woman in the house is going to show your man what a real woman would do.
Okay. I can maybe see that because she was a pain in the ass. All right. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. That had came to my mind when I was putting that clip up today on IG. So you can follow me on Instagram, Sidney Smith Creative, CRE, the number 8 TIV. And you can follow Mr. David Greaves over here at David's Mark AZ 2020.
Yes.
And you can check us both out there. Also, you can follow the pod. See, again, I'm trying to remember all this stuff. You can actually follow the pod on IG too. So this week's drop is on IG as well. So, all right, let's jump into the show, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, I wish we had some guests to talk to, but we don't.
I'll play 2 people. Don't worry about it.
Crazy ass. All right, good news for a lot of folks out there. A lot of folks back in my hometown of Detroit. Obviously, his family, people who've gotten to know him over the years, whether it be through rap music or through the show BMF or through the many documentaries that they've done about BMF. For people who don't know, BMF is Black Mafia Family.
Yes, sir.
Big Meech is out the federal penitentiary.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. He's in the I believe he's going to or already at the halfway house. But Big Meech is out. And it's crazy to me because for as well known as Black Mafia Family is with the TV shows, the documentaries, and everything. And again, the first thing I think about when I hear Big Meech is Rick Ross saying Big Meech in one of his songs, in one of the lyrics of his songs. It was not at the forefront of my mind that he was even close to getting out. And so it came to a shock to me, and I think a lot of other people, that he was even eligible for release.
Because normally with Fed time, you got to do 3/4.
Yes.
So I think he's at a little over halfway.
Yeah.
I think he had 10 more.
Yeah.
But, overcrowding and COVID and various different other reasons.
Yeah, because I think his brother T got out with COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So glad he's home. I just feel kind of afraid for him.
Okay.
Because of the fame. Everybody wants to take a picture with him, have a drink with him, tell me how to get up in the game and let me put you on and all of those worldly temptations that if he wasn't as big and as famous, he might not have to deal with.
Yeah, right.
So
here's what I'm at with it. I'm okay with all of that because a lot of these guys get out, they don't have what he's already got going for him.
Yes, yeah.
And he's already got the TV show and everything going. His son plays him in the TV show.
Yes.
I'm sure if able to, you talk about finding a job.
Yeah,
they'll give him something to do
50,
on the
50,
show.
I'm sure 50 already put some up for him and is going to give him a casting role in the movie,
something,
TV series, something. 50 gonna do something for him because that's the type of dude 50 is.
Yes, so there will be something for him. That's why I think this is going to be such a great thing for him when he gets out. Because unlike a lot of guys who get out who have nothing, nowhere to go, nothing to fall back on that's legal.
Yes. So you fall back into the old ways
easily. Yeah. And so I'm happy for him, and I'm happy that this hopefully what we're saying is to be true. That he's got this doorway open, this path open for him.
Again, it's just a double-edged sword in that you got to remember that you're not Big Meech anymore. And you can't do the things that you did when you was Big Meech. You have to change, or else they'll put you right back where you came from. They looking for a mistake.
Yeah.
And because the world is the way that I'm just afraid of somebody trying to set him up, a chick trying to get paid off of him, you know. Mm-hmm. So just the dumb stuff that comes with fame.
You know what? You make a great point. When you started to talk about that, have you seen the movie Blow with Johnny Depp?
Yes.
One of my favorite movies. Anyone
great
hasn't
movie.
Seen it. I love
great
the movie. It kind of ends that way.
Yeah, he got trapped up in it again.
He tried to make one more big run because he wanted to get his daughter, take her to California, set himself up. And it ended up being some friends he had worked with when he was doing illegal shit who had got busted and needed to set him up to get themselves up.
Yeah. Again, Frank Lucas, same similar thing.
Yeah, okay.
He got out. He couldn't get away from it. Wanted to get back into the game and one more score and one more time, you know, so.
Well, you and I, coming from where we come from and knowing some of the folks we knew growing up and still kind of know from a distance, you're right. It is almost that, it's almost like, you know what, I'm going to say it in a way that maybe more people can relate to it. It's almost having a guy who was the greatest athlete your high school had ever seen. Mm-hmm. And he graduates, he can never let that go.
Yeah.
He's still coming back to the high school parties. Mm-hmm. You know, he might as well be wearing a varsity jacket because he just can't let that life go because that was his high point of his life.
Yeah.
And who doesn't? It's human nature. Who doesn't want to go back? That's why you see so many guys that can't stay out the streets.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to go back to when I was the man.
Yeah.
All the females wanted me. And you see it with women too. It's not just a guy.
Yeah. King and queen, prom queen.
Yeah.
You know, we have some friends that we call king and queen.
Yeah.
You know, prom queen because they're stuck at that high point in their life.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I had a friend who, you know, always talked about, remember when we used to, and we did this. And I was like, bro, that's 5 years ago.
Right.
You know, but that for him was the high point in his life. So.
Yeah, and so I'm with you in terms, but I think, again, going back to it, I think he's got that hurdle already, unless he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Unless he just chooses to make a bad choice, which I can't believe after doing federal time. That you would, because next time they put you away.
Yeah, listen. You shouldn't be out now, so you know that there's going to be snakes waiting for you to make a mistake. So that's, if anything, Meech, please leave the crabs alone. Just go be a regular dude, go get this paper and live and don't try to relive.
You sent me an article, and I agree with you, but you sent me an article yesterday about Big Meech, and the number that they had in there was Black Mafia family was doing their thing for 15 years, and I think the number that the feds had as the amount of money they made, and this is obviously the money that the government only knows about, was $175 million.
Yeah. Listen.
And that seemed a little low to me. I was like, that don't seem like no real money for a 15-year run of what they say, you know, him and T and that crew were doing.
I have a Big Meech story from Atlanta.
Are you able to share it?
I didn't know Big Meech and them was Big Meech and them at the time.
Okay.
So we're at a establishment and we're having fun. We're 10 of us. We're balling, having a great time. And the security dude came over and was like, I need you to move to the other side. So I reached in my pocket and I was like, just here you go, man. Let them go to the other side.
Yeah.
He came back and gave me my money back.
That's what's
and
up.
Said, I need you to move to the smaller section. And Big Meech and them came in and I understood why we had to move to the smaller section.
Yeah.
They was 50, 60 deep. There was only 10 of us.
Yeah.
And we were throwing 10s and 20s and they was throwing 100s.
Yeah.
So that was my first and only time understanding what big bank take little bank me?
Look, when they rolled in, what did y'all think when they rolled in? Were you like, all right, yeah, let's get the fuck out the way? Or what was it? Was there any type of intimidation feeling of it? Or you just, as you put it, all right, I can see why.
No, we left.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we left. Because again, when you understand what real money look like.
Right.
And being deep, again, we was 10 to 50.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh no, okay, y'all got this, y'all.
Yeah.
I understand what it mean to, to move and take over stuff, So I'm sure that number was government. Sometimes it's inflated, but sometimes it's a lot lower than it actually was. So I'm hoping that he was able to keep some of it. I don't know if the feds took everything.
I hope you kept none of it. I hope they have all of it, because if they find out you got any of it, you're going back. So I hope they got it all.
Maybe in property or something like that, you were able to keep some of it in the family, so to speak.
Right.
Probably not, because by that time they started doing racketeering, and I think that's what they caught them for, racketeering.
It was racketeering.
They took everything.
But maybe I don't know. I've never been brought up on racketeering charges, and don't look for a way to be brought up on it. But maybe even when you're pleading, you can make some type of deal. Okay, but let my mama keep the house, or let this be whatever. I don't know. I'm just spitballing some stuff. But I have a establishment story as well. So, and I'm at Sonny's, and I don't even know if the place is even still there, but it was in Southern Chandler, Arizona.
Okay.
And I used to go there. And for me, strip clubs, I could care less about them since I was 18, 19 years old. To me, it's just a change of pace. I'm still doing the same thing. Back then, you could actually still sit at the bar and have a drink.
Yeah.
Unlike now, they do like it's a club. They pull all the tables and the bar stools and everything to keep you from sitting.
Yeah,
to make you sit by the stage. Which and I haven't been into a spot since maybe 5-6 years or so. I went into Jaguars with a couple of buddies, and they order food, and I said, "Y'all are disgusting." But I was at Sonny's, and I'm chilling at the bar, and while all of my fellows are over there, at the stage throwing dollars or throwing whatever they were throwing, and I'm sitting there just talking to a couple of girls I knew that worked there, and we're talking to the bartender, having some drinks, and Terrell Suggs comes into the building. T-Sizzle, Baltimore Ravens own T-Sizzle, and I think he's played at Arizona State, I believe.
Yes, I believe so.
He comes in with his crew. They might have been 10, 12 deep, and they go sit not off in a private area or anything like that. I didn't even know Sonny's even had this until T-Sizzle came in the building. They sat them at the end of the stage. It was kind of a set up on a platform area. And then I never noticed this before, but there was a curtain that was attached to the ceiling that they pulled aside, and every female in there,
beeline.
And even the ones I were friends with, they say, "See it, Yeah. I said, "Girl, go get your money. Go do what you got to do.
Yeah. Go make that paper."
Had the 3/4 of this place emptied out to 1/4 of the building, and needless to say, I finished my drink and I left because there was no one else to talk to or even stare at.
Bertha with one tooth was left.
But I've never been a dude about throwing money in the air or doing any of that. Personally, for me, and for anybody out there who's a dancer, you're going to hate on me. I know it. But for me, I'm getting the same show sitting over here as the guy.
And I ain't got to spend no money.
Yeah, the same dude who's giving you, I'm paying $8 for a beer. What else you want from me?
Again, and once you see them, they just the same here, there, everywhere. It's
not like I've seen a vagina before. There was a guy when I was in the military, a couple of guys. And this is why I said 18, 19 when I first started going to the strip club, and they would let you in because you're in the military. And we would go, and I'm not going to use his last name, but there was this young cat named Frank. And he was easily a virgin. Like you could just, if you a man, you know what I'm talking about, you can smell it on him. And he and another guy would go to the ATM machine in the strip club. And before these dudes could completely turn away from the ATM machine, a girl was already standing there, grabbed them, taking them to the back room. It was
drop it all.
We would just laugh because they would go in there and spend the whole check in there, man. Every time we went in there, make me laugh. And that was the first time I came into contact with the strip clubs when I was in the Navy.
Yeah.
I mean, were you able to go before you got in?
No, it wasn't something that we did. We were clubs.
Okay,
so the club was where we did everything because we still danced at the club. it wasn't a whole bunch of booths. It was still dancing.
You talking about the club?
Yeah, the club.
Okay.
Yeah, the strip club, military. That's what opened it up. And again, after a certain point, it's titties.
I remember when I first got in, and then I got to my first A school down in Pensacola. I'm fresh out of Michigan, fresh. I hadn't been to anything like this, obviously not the military, but haven't even been on any trips like this outside of, whatever for athletics or whatever. It took me a minute to find my little crowd, I think. Mm-hmm. And so, but I've always been a guy who was friends with everyone. So I would always have little different circles, just like I do now, different circles of friends or whatever. And this one group of friends, they just like going to the strip club when we were in Pensacola. Now,
I will say that there are some exceptional strip clubs that are definitely different than the rest.
You hear about Atlanta.
Listen, Nikki's 1 and 2. What's the one that everybody else goes to?
Chocolate something. And you on Atlanta?
Yeah, can't think of the name of it, but everybody will know it. Miami has quite a few and actually has some really good food at the strip club.
I'm not eating food out the strip club.
Crab legs, steak.
What did Chris Rock say? Titties and tater tots don't mix.
No, but again, Miami food. Chocolate City. Is it Chocolate City in Atlanta?
That's Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, the wings, like, Wild Boy got in trouble.
You want to say it right way, bro?
They are that good, bro.
Who was it that got busted during COVID, going to get wings? He played for the Clippers at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember them saying this is exactly why the Clippers can't win.
Got game.
Yeah, this is why the Clippers can't win the title. I can't think of his name. But yeah, they named the wings the lemon pepper wings.
Lou Williams.
Yes, it was. Yep, because they named those lemon pepper wings after him, dog.
And they amazing. We'll tell you, amazing wings.
No,
yes.
Sir. Not eating any food. And I don't really like the strip clubs like that, but I'm definitely not eating any food. Well, happy Big Meech is going to be home soon. He's at the halfway house. And I'm happy to see that he's able to come out and hit the ground running because there's so many positive things happening for him and his family right now. And look forward to seeing what role he's going to play.
Yes. 50, I'm sure will take care of him. And again, I just don't want him to go back, bro. That's it. I mean, you spent 20 years, 25 years, bro. Listen, leave it alone now. Just.
And in the federal pen.
I mean, it's better than state, but still time.
Is it better than state?
Yeah.
In terms of?
Just different crowd. Most of them are not gladiator schools.
Okay.
A lot of state penitentiaries or state facilities is,
Okay.
Everybody trying to make a name and test and
But with the feds though, don't you normally end up having to do more time before they'll cut you loose?
Yeah, that's why they give it to you in months.
Okay.
They be like, 18,000 months, and you're like, wait a minute, that's 25. Oh, wait a minute, that's So and in state time, usually every day is a good day. So you get 1 and 1. In Fed, it's normally 3/4. Automatically, you got to do 3/4 of your time before you even eligible to walk out the door. So,
Well, good luck to you, Meech.
Yes, sir.
Big Meech.
Big Meech. Yeah, give him his props.
Respect.
Yeah, listen, he earned it.
Big Meech, Larry Hoover.
Yeah.
That'll take me down another road. I can't get into that dude's music as much as some.
Rick. Yeah, he's again. And if you ever watch the real Rick Ross, talk about it, like
the name and how all that played out.
Yeah, there's a couple podcasts he's on that he does a real good explaining of how it went about and what was supposed to happen and what didn't happen.
Yeah, I think initially there was never even a request for permission to use the name.
No.
At all. And because I've seen a couple of clips of the real Rick Ross talk about it. Like there was never any ask. And Rick says, if he had asked me, I probably would have said no at the time, initially.
Didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah, had no idea. But there was never. And I think there was something where they went to court and the rapper Rick Ross refused, according to the real Rick Ross, the rapper Rick Ross refused to shake his hand. And check out the podcast of Rick Ross on Joe Rogan. He was on there. He's talking about a lot of this on Joe Rogan. It's a great interview.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's done quite a few different interviews where, again, I like some of Rick Ross's music, but I'm not a fanatical fan like some people. Oh my, Rick Ross is no, not in my top 10.
Yeah, he's got a couple songs that are nice, but yeah, not anything close. I know I talked to a couple of our brothers. They're like, man, it's great to ride to, whatever. Yeah, and I'll give them that. You know, late at night, I'm coming home from wherever, put it on and just kind of cruise to it. But it's nothing. And I went to go listen to him speak at a function here in Arizona, and he was going to talk about business and give his ideas on different things. And I came in, it was at a comedy club. Okay. So I went because I can get into everything at the clubs. And I kind of sat in the back, and it was nothing I couldn't have read in a pamphlet. And I was very kind of let down by it. And I said, well, these guys must have just paid him a ton of money to bring him in to be here, to get these people to pay to be here. But it wasn't anything that I couldn't have heard on the Instagram reel.
I would say definitely if 50 did it, I would go.
I would do if anybody did it. I would go to listen because I'm always trying to learn. But I'm going to have some type of thought about it. I've been to see some people speak and give ideas and tips on this, that, and the other. Hell, I seen some great shit on Instagram Reels. Yes,
that you could take from and grow it. But
it wasn't anything with Rick though. Okay. He wasn't saying anything monumental. And I felt a little let down. I felt bad for those people actually paid to be there.
He's done some things that you can't take from him. He's done some things. He's invested smartly. He played the game the way that everybody else kind of, and he ran with it. You know, it's just I would have hoped for more.
I think when you get into those things, and you and I talk about this offline a lot. I think sometimes when you're talking about the entertainment business, there's so many different things that they can't say because almost if they did say, you would almost say, "Oh, you didn't pull yourself up by your bootstraps."
Yeah, you gotta.
So somebody over, not even getting into the Diddy stuff. I'm just saying that to be able to meet the right person, to write the right check, to open the right doors, to say, "Come on in, we're gonna make sure everything is like." In the music business, it's still talked about today. In fact, I just saw something not too long ago where they talked about a lot of the major rappers, especially a lot of the females. There's a individual at the record company who was saying, push this person.
Yes.
And we're putting all things behind. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think
as opposed to,
yes,
you can't say that when you're standing on stage and telling people work hard and do these different things because the other piece is also meet somebody
who likes you and is going to push you through the hurdles that everybody else has to go through.
Yes.
So but we always say it's about who you know also.
And we were just talking about that.
Yes.
And I'm not going to mention these young men because, they're minors. But, we were just talking about some young men and they've got some great things in front of them. And one of the things that I wish I knew and hopefully they'll have a better understanding of it sooner than I did. It's not always, and as my wife puts it, it's not always what you know. It's not even always it's not always who you know. It's who knows you.
Yes.
So you got to put yourself in position for somebody to know you.
Yes. There was a great movie where this dude went on interviews. Or maybe it was the Orange Dude's running mate. His movie.
J.D. Vance.
Yes. Yeah. Where he went on a couple interviews after college and was supposed to be getting this job and that job and said the wrong thing, but to the right person.
Yeah.
And then that person opens the door for you. So I think it is important if you're going to college, where you go to college, as we talked about, and whom you get to meet at that college. I mean, the Zuckerberg, like the people that met him and just invested a little bit or talked about it with him are all multi-millionaires.
And they have the parents to be able to say, hey, follow that dream. Yeah. We'll give you X amount of time to follow it.
Yeah.
I may even put some funds behind it. And I'm talking about we're not talking about just Zuckerberg. We're talking about also Bezos. And this isn't taking anything away from those people where I'm talking about working hard. But that's not the only thing. So they got to bring it back to the Rick Rosses of the world and that thing. He didn't say anything monumental, but I understand because you can't say it all.
Yeah.
You're talking to people who may not even come into contact with the same people that you were blessed to be able to come into contact with.
As you said, it's not always just working hard because that is an an aspect that you have to work hard. You have to hustle.
You have to.
But you also got to hustle around the right person because somebody has to open a door for you.
Yes.
So you have to be at the right time in the right place hustling, and somebody see that hustle spirit and say, you know what? Let me give that kid a chance.
The weird thing is not the weird thing, but the thing is, this morning while I was getting ready, I like to just let Instagram Reels roll. And a video I'd seen before, Kevin Hart on Big Boy's radio show, an interview, it's just a clip. And Kevin just talks about you have to be willing to do it every day. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to say, okay, I'm going to work hard today, but I'm going to do it again tomorrow, even though I got nothing out of it today. And he said that is the hardest thing, is to wake up every day and work hard and keep working hard when you're not seeing anything happen at the end of the day.
That's like the Kobe mindset, the Mamba mindset, is that he said, I'm gonna get up at 3 a.m. because I know you're not getting up till 4, so I got an extra hour on you. And I think nowadays that's because we see people, the finished result. Yeah. And you don't understand the hard work it took to get here. Yeah. Yesterday we were celebrating our boy's birthday, and I was talking to Billy, and he was, we were talking about our past and how to be able to say, I've reached a state of maturity. Yeah. Where the things that could have caught me, could have tripped me up, I've overcome them. Right. So hopefully you don't make those mistakes anymore.
It's about living long enough to see what we're kind of talking about. And I think you're kind of saying the same thing, to see the end result. Yes. Giving yourself a chance to live long enough to see, I made it through this, I made it through that. I got some great advice I didn't listen to initially, but when I finally did, look at where I'm at. Yes. And thank God, or thank whatever, or however you want to put it, you get a chance to see it.
I think when I was younger, we had the OGs. Yes. While we didn't understand what they was pouring in, they were still pouring in stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think that's missed a lot now, is that the wisdom is not passed back, or they're not willing to listen. Like, I don't need that, I could just do it. Or I'm rich now, so I don't need to listen to you, OG. Well, you still going to come into the same obstacles, whether you got money or not money. You still going to get some of them things that's going to bump your head. You just might bumping it at a different level.
And you bring us up something. I'm going to probably talk about this. If you watch this podcast, become a fan, you're going to listen or watch and hear me say this, because it'll come up from time to time, because I try to give credit to people who deserve it. And I remember having uncles and cousins, bruh, who, when I was growing up as a kid, they're doing all the wrong shit in the streets. But at the same time telling me, I better not catch you out here. Yes. Or hanging out with them on the porch and we just chopping it up. And I'm 15, 16 years old and they all smoking weed. And
you can't have that.
Somebody try to pass it to me who don't know. They're like, no, bro, he don't. Yeah. Not him. And that type of thing. And I don't know if that still happens. I hope that still happens, because that helped me. Yes. As opposed to being surrounded by a bunch of brothers. When I say brothers, I mean black folks who were like, yo, nephew, come do this for me. Make this run for me. Do this for me. Because that's how a lot of these young people end up on the wrong tracks, bro. Mm-hmm.
Being told, no, you can't come here. You can't. What are you doing here? Yes. You can't come to this club. You can't hang out here. You can't be around this person. And at the time, I thought it was hate. But I know that saved me from certain things.
100%.
So,
It makes me think right now of that scene from Boys in the Hood, where Trey thinks about it and tells Q, Doughboy, pull over, let me out the car. Yeah, yes. When they're getting ready to, do that drive-by. Mm-hmm. And Q pulls over, lets him out the car. And that saved Trey's life.
Yes. It's a lot of times it's one thing that saves you from a forever mistake. And at the time, I know God was watching over for me. So, saved me from certain mistakes that I should have and deserve to be caught into. So sometimes you got to listen to that thought in your head, the feeling of, this doesn't feel right. I shouldn't do this. I should go home. I need to not be here.
Right. And for a lot of us, that voice speaks. Yeah. And for a lot of us, we don't listen.
Yeah. Listen, I know I ignored it for a long time. And
you're right. And that's when people do look back and you're just thankful to whomever you're thankful to. Yeah. Everyone doesn't believe in God, so I'm not going to say that. But you're thankful for whoever. Or sometimes maybe you're someone who doesn't know you should be thankful for anything at all. Maybe you think you just got here off your wits.
Yeah. Okay. Hey.
I don't know. Hard transition, like every week. DJ Mustard. Whew. Sir, you want to kind of break this one down for the folks?
Got divorced and $24,000 a month.
$24,500. Child support.
I'm gonna call it 25 because it's close enough. A month. And I heard the number brought into 300 a year, and I was like, oh, okay. Not that it digests any easier, but for me, 300,000 for 3 kids. Again, this is when you do accustomed to a certain lifestyle. I didn't understand it. Still don't quite understand it. But if daddy lives, because he got to keep a lot of stuff. When you find out about the whole divorce.
Yeah, cars and some property.
Yeah. Yes. So if daddy lives in a mansion, you can't live in the projects.
Right.
Because it's out of balance. And I get that. I don't think that 300 is necessary for you to run a household, but I don't have to pay the mortgage on what a mansion looks like.
Right.
I would say, well, just buy her one, and then I got one, and then I don't have to give you $24,000 a month.
You know, when we talk about these different things, and I know this topic, if nothing else, when I cut this up and put this up, I may get some hatred. But when it comes to child support, this is all me this time. When it comes to child support and all these different things, I feel that we're living in such an antiquated system. Now, I know where child support originally comes from. It comes from the fact that women were not protected, men were able to do whatever. I mean, you see stuff now where they're doing it, it's time era written, and where the women couldn't even sell their car without the husband's approval. You know, even if they were getting divorced, they had to have the husband come, you know. So I understand that. But that's not the time we're living in now. And so when I hear things like 24,500, I get it. The man's famous. The man has made a lot of money. They've been together for a long time.
Yes.
But if this is what we're talking about, that the child needs to be able to live the way that they become accustomed to living, then why is the child not living in a position in the house with the person
that
who can provide that?
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand that I don't know that all of the divorce.
This is a generalization. This is a generalization, a general statement. Save it, ladies. Save all your. Well, what if a woman was being beaten and save it? Of course, if a woman is being abused in any sort of way to his kids, of course, we're not talking about
no. But in a when we settle and we're decided, what's the word I'm looking for? Amicably.
Yes.
That it should be fairer to me. But again, if I set you up in a lifestyle that made you not have to work,
yes,
then this is the result of that. If you don't got to do nothing, I got you.
Yeah.
Then, hey, I got you. And I don't know. They were together since they were 18.
Yeah, long time.
So, and he already got another baby. I just saw something on it. So I would have sewed it up, bro. Listen, at $25,000 a month, bro, it would have been punting every day from that point on.
You know what? I'm with you because I always knew, given my own background, I never wanted to have a ton of kids with a bunch of different women. So I'm with you on the sew me up thing and all that. I didn't want it because I had already grew up in that and knew what that was like and knew what it was like to have siblings that you never met. Yeah. Or siblings that you met one time when you were this small and you didn't. And the reason you didn't was because the person who created this whole world was not responsible enough to make sure that he did what he needed to do. And then he was he was playing one against the other in terms of females. So now this female is upset. So not those kids can't be around those kids. That whole, as a man, to be out here spreading your seed, do you know the type of responsibility you need to have to go along with spreading that seed in order to make sure all these separate families you're creating, everything is on a level playing field? There is an amount of responsibility. Not only do you owe to those children, but you owe to those women as well. And not enough men can do that or care to do it. Did
you see the podcast? And I don't know if it was the Superman from the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton and Nick Cannon with I think she's a psychiatrist or something.
I haven't seen it. What did she say?
She was explaining to them because she was saying, I understand that you're financially able to take care of those households, but you have 8 children that don't have their daddy at home. You can't possibly be in 8 houses. So you're creating a distorted household. And while you might be a great father, you're not in the household. So you're not being a dad to each of these children at the same time. So that was a sort of an not for me an eye opener, but it was a different explanation on just because you can afford $25,000 a month to pay child support, you're still having an effect on.
I'm gonna tell you the biggest lie that was told to me as a kid, and I believed it as a kid because I wanted to believe it. And to this day, when I think about it, one, I can't think about, man, what kind of fool were you? But I was a kid. I wanted to believe it. And 2, man, what kind of shit is that to say? Coming up on turning 16 and getting my license, to be told, I'm gonna get your car from somebody who never got me anything. But you want to believe it.
Yes.
And then to hear from one of your older siblings, that same lie was told to me when I was turning 16.
It was a good story.
Just a good story. And then to think at the time, but be able to really articulate it now, to her point, you didn't have to tell that lie. All I really wanted was your time.
Yes.
But I could care less about the car. I could care about how much money's in your pocket or not in your pocket. I would have preferred to not have relatives say, did you see him? Because we just saw him last week.
Yes.
I'm like, I haven't seen him in 2 years. Oh, he was just in town. I would have rather been able to say, yeah, I saw him too.
Even if it was 2 minutes.
That'd have been more important. So to her point, I love that point, because to a child, what do we know about money?
No.
As long as you clothe me and feed me to the best of your ability, that child will love you to the best of his or her ability.
And not to make an excuse for any mother or father who is not part of their child's life, the damage that it does to, as we talk about women and men, and both mothers and fathers, it is hard when you don't know any better. And I'm not making an excuse that maybe he didn't know any better, he wasn't taught any better, maybe he's just not equipped. And in that case, you're not equipped to be a father. This is why I think, like, driver's license, there should be a test before you're a parent.
Yep.
There should be some type of a test, because there's a lot of people out there that like the idea of being a parent, but not a mother or a father.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and talking about his dating and who he's dating, and it was the 4 of us kind of hanging out, having lunch, talking. It's just 3 of us talking to one. And I was trying to ask some what I feel to be more insightful questions from my viewpoint, because I'm to the point now where I try to find out, even with myself, why do I think that? Why did I say that? What experience that I have informs this decision that I'm making, bad or good? And when you're talking about relationships, marriage, or anything like that, you need to have a clear understanding of who you are.
Yes.
When you're making this decision.
That's good.
And what your experiences you're coming from that are informing this decision.
They warped it, because it's all warped in a way.
You know, are you looking for a woman because you're still looking for love from your mama?
Yeah.
So are you looking for somebody who can take care of you in the way that you wanted to be taken care of by your mama?
Yeah.
And for women, are you looking for a man because you got the daddy issues? Yeah. You know, all these, and if you haven't resolved these things, and some shit can't be resolved, Dave.
No.
And so let's say you can't resolve it, but do you even understand it?
Are you willing to deal with the fact that I'm broken in a way that I require this?
Yes.
Which is why we always say the interview in a relationship, ladies and men, there has to be an interview process. And it only works really well if sex is not involved in it. Because once sex comes into the picture, it's, oh, I can ignore this and I can ignore that. And I just overlook that because the sex is good or whatever. So it definitely warps it. And I don't think there's enough of an interview process. I mean, I can say I've been married 3 times. So I can tell folks how not to do it because I did it wrong on different ways. So I can tell you, oh, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand that I was broken in ways until my current wife said, you're broken, and I didn't break you.
Right, and 100%. So you have to be able to understand that to make these decisions. That's why, for a lot of folks who get married super young, fresh out of high school, fresh out of college, that's great, especially if you've been able to make it work, because marriage is work.
Yes, it is.
But I'm always one to, and I remember seeing it because I remember being married the first time. And I was just out of the military and I was working a job, working security. I was still in Hawaii. We hadn't left the island yet. And I was working at this high-rise apartment complex in Hawaii and hated this job, working midnights. But me being me, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I would talk to the residents and get to know them a little bit. And I remember meeting this mid-30s white guy. And he just had his first daughter. I think she might have been 1 or 2 years old. We're just chatting for a hot minute. And I said, man, you don't feel old having your child now? He said, no. He said, I've done everything I wanted to do. I played in the streets. I've dated. I've trips, the fellas, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm married and I feel, man, this is great. And because I had never been taught that before or ever heard that from anyone before, I was like, man. And it just from that point on, I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And just come to learn that dude did it right.
Yeah. You model what you see, which is why we have a lot of brokenness, because we didn't see it right. So you only saw what it looks like to do a relationship bad, which is why I tell folks, listen, your kids see everything.
100.
Whether you think they don't hear you arguing or fighting or loving incorrectly, they see it and then they model that because that's what they know.
Yep. And I remember when my parents finally got divorced, because I'm a black child growing up with 2 black parents. I did it quietly, but I celebrated when they got divorced, bro. Because it was not the greatest situation in terms of growing up in that home. This stuff I won't talk about right now, but the stuff that we saw that I remember, because I have the greatest memory and I hate it because it's a blessing and a curse. The stuff that I remember to this day, no, sir. This was not this. The trying to go to sleep, even though you hear the yelling and the screaming, sir, no, sir.
And I honestly, when you said that, it flashed back to when my parents got divorced.
Yeah.
I didn't celebrate it. I think I stuffed it away.
Okay.
And was like, oh, I'm part of this group now. The divorced kids, and was like, well, put it in the back. And until I got older, didn't know that did something. Seeing your parents no longer together, whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, it did something to you. Okay. So when you think about it now, it did something to you. It made you think about things a certain way. Like, I'm not accepting this, or I don't want to see this, or this is hurtful, or this is what bad looks like. So I'm never doing bad. I'm always going to do something different.
That and I always knew what a lot of people until recent times never gave the right credit to, which is to what you said. Kids see everything. Kids are smart. Yeah. They hear everything, they see everything, and they pick up on everything that you are doing, whether they want to or not, which is another reason why some of these people are in bad relationships, because somehow they've taken it in that this is the way shit's supposed to be.
Yes. I don't deserve.
I don't deserve, or this is the way it's supposed to be. This is what I saw.
Yes.
My mom and my daddy were together for 50 years, even though my daddy was slapping my mom around after church every Sunday. Nobody ever knew about any of it. But this is the way it is.
Yes. Which is a good segue to the next topic of, we laughed when we brought this one up of, to me, modern day women are trying to be the jump off or the side piece vice a wife.
When you said that a few different times over the last year or so, and you always kind of catch me off guard when you said, where are you getting this from? Are you hearing this in interviews? Are you talking to women?
In conversation, in Facebook, Instagram, and all of the various TV shows. I think that they're warping women's mind to, it's easier for me just to be the side piece. I don't have to deal with the nonsense. All I have to do is X, Y, and Z, and I'm good. I got a Birkin bag. I'll take me on trips. I get the fun part of the relationship without the bad part of it. And it's warped their mind because when you're young, you think that's great.
Right.
And when you're 22 to 34, it's perfect.
Right.
But when you hit 35 and you're single and you're alone, that's when the reality hits because you're no longer the prize.
Right.
So being the side piece at 55 is lonely.
I can definitely see what you're talking about and where you're coming from. But I can see almost to where those women are kind of coming from too, because I know, and this is something else, I feel like we're always spitting something for the women too. For a lot of women out there who, yes, really free. For a lot of women out there, because women do it too, who are stepping out on their husbands with a dude, that dude has the understanding kind of what we're talking about. I'm getting the best parts of you once or twice a week for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I'm not getting the other shit that your husband is having to deal with. They're talking about how to pay these bills, go to the soccer games, being upset about your mother-in-law. And I think the same thing for these females that want to stay side pieces.
I understand it, again, when you're young.
Yeah.
But there's a consequence and repercussions to everything that you do.
Yeah.
First of all, I hate to call you a prostitute, but what is the male or female? If I'm buying you, I'm buying the relationship. So you're only worth the Birkin bag. You're not worth my time, my sweat, my tears. You're only worth whatever I give you, whether it's me paying an electric bill, the cable bill, or sleeping over at the hotel or taking you on a trip.
But you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have a problem with that contract. and the reason I don't have a problem with it is as long as you know what you are signing yourself up for.
But they don't. Again, because when you're young, you don't understand. Look at the market right now. There are a gang of women out here that are in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, running around, cat women.
Yeah, well, that's your problem. That's a problem. You signed up for the deal.
But they didn't, again, when you don't know the long-term game of it, is that it ends up being you alone in the end.
I'm trying to think of the sketch. Was it not Dave Chappelle? No, I think it might be SNL where they do the Jordan sketch about from the documentary when Jordan's beating all of the guys at the arena back there playing whatever quarters with him, and you got the one white dude with the fro who's a. so that's all I got for you. I mean, if you made a deal, it's like people look, man. You made a deal. You made a contract. You thought you was gonna be beautiful forever. You thought people was gonna want you forever. You thought this was gonna be, and it's not the case. I say the same thing about my guy friends who are out here still now in their 40s in the streets.
Yeah.
Look, bro.
Old dude in the club.
There is no retirement home for players. And you're not sleeping on my couch.
No.
When that woman tell you, give her back the car.
Yeah.
Give her the keys to the house she bought you.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
Yeah. Again, because I just saw a WNBA player saying that they fly dudes out.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, that's really a thing? And she was like, definitely. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like,
so they flying dudes out just like the dudes fly chicks out.
Definitely.
Okay.
She was like, definitely.
No. No.
You wouldn't get flown out?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You're not flying me anywhere. What I look like? Yeah. I'm not some whore.
Well, but then it's no different than the chick.
That's what I'm saying. Decisions.
Yeah. Again, repercussions and consequences.
You and I talked about this. First of all, I need to be in charge.
Yes.
And how can I be in charge if you can tell me to come and go whenever you want to tell me to come and go?
First class seats.
I don't give a shit.
Fine dining.
I don't give a shit.
You just got to come in here.
Brother, I'll crinkle up this ramen first. And microwave it. And if you know me, you know how I hate my food microwave. I'll crinkle this up into some water and cook it in the microwave because I don't have a pot.
Ladies, I just want you to please just look around at the pool, big pool of 35 plus year old women who I'm living my best life alone at home watching Netflix with a pint of ice cream, maybe a half a gallon now because most of them it's hard out here.
And I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's a lot of brothers who love projects. All right. So all you got to do,
save a hose.
Yeah. What you need to do is get your level where it needs to be. And there's a dude that'll take you on. See, that's the problem right there. The problem is not that don't nobody want you. The problem is you need to come down to where your reality is.
I wish Kevin Samuels was still around because he had some.
He was terrorizing these.
But it was a reality check for a lot of them that I don't think that they're real about. Like I'd see people talking about, I need a dude making six figures to be in 6'2", but you got 3 kids from 4 baby daddies.
Who cares?
And you're making $27,000 a year working at Walmart.
It's good money.
Where are you finding somebody who's going to settle down, but you always want to be picked up? Again, I see women talking about, well, I make 6 figures and I do this and I'm a queen. And what makes you a queen without a king? It's my instant answer.
Look, here's what I'm going to say, and I always say, if you got to say it, then it ain't true.
Just because you own a house doesn't make you a queen. It makes you a homeowner.
No, you could be a queen, but if you the only one saying it, then it's probably really not your title.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. Say that again for the back people in the back.
If you're the only one saying it, it's probably really not your title. Like Dave calls his wife a queen. See, that's someone else saying she's a queen.
Yeah.
That's not her running around saying she's a queen or trying to bully him into saying she's a queen.
Putting on her crown. I'm a queen. Let me adjust my crown. That just make you somebody wearing a tiara.
That's it.
Again.
And you're too old for that.
It's again, in Phoenix, it's 7-1. So if you haven't found your mate in your late 30s, it's slim and getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And your pool is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you don't mind taking a girl's trip, paying for the rest of your friends because they broke, how about it, girl? Live your best life.
I'm going to say that unless you out here at a certain time of your life looking to get stretched out every weekend, that's guy or girl, or you out here at the prime of your life looking to get married or something along those lines, I don't know if ratios matter as much. I think what matters, because people get hung up on numbers, and I'm a numbers guy, so I understand it, but certain times it's not the numbers that matter. It's what's up here is what matters. I could give you a ratio of where, as a female, there's 7 dudes for you.
Yes. That are hunting for you.
Hunting for you.
Yes.
But if what you think is all the way out here, how many of these dudes are you missing?
Again, the bus driver. Again, if you are that one of the 7 that is doing her thing and is still being sought after by the people that you want to be sought after, great. But you want them 7.
Did you put yourself in position to be wanted?
Yeah. Again,
I've said that to guys and girls.
Yes.
Did you put yourself in position to be wanted? The person you want, did you put yourself in a position to be seen by them and wanted by them?
Mm-hmm. Because if you said the male the same way, the old dude in the club, what are your prospects?
Yes.
If you're the old dude in the club, except what's left in the club at 2:00 in the morning.
Pretty Woman is a movie. Those movies that Tyler Perry writes, where the black woman with 3 kids who was struggling somehow comes up and finds the dudes.
But he was a bus driver.
Any of that, but it's not real.
Yes. This is my standard answer for folks is the movies are the movies.
Right.
Cinderella is Cinderella. The glass slipper, that's not real life.
That's not real. And that's what I'm saying. Did you put yourself in position to be wanted by the type of person you want? Mm-hmm. And if you didn't, no knock on you, because we all had to make decisions in life. But if you didn't, then maybe you need to bring down what you're looking for down to a realistic.
Your prospects of what is the real opportunity for you to, again, if you make 26, 6 figures is probably out of your reach because, again, what are we talking about? Mm-hmm. If I'm making 6 figures plus, normally I went to school. I'm educated. Mm-hmm. I've been around some class. Mm-hmm. And you still talking about Boone's Farm. Mm-hmm. Yep. We're not having, again, it's like an older dude when I see him with a young girl. What are you talking about?
Right.
I got 14 years on my wife, and there's certain things that I know that she's like, what are you talking about?
Right.
So I could imagine longer times than that, or just not having the same philosophy on stuff.
And this is the gamble you make when you are a man or a woman, and we're talking, and we start with women, but men do it too, who say, I'm cool with just being a side piece because I'm gonna get the things that I want, and most of the time it's financial, a bag, allowance, whatever it is. The other part of it is you have to be someone of a certain personality where you are okay with being at that person's beck and call.
Yes.
That person's in control of your life to a certain extent. Unless you feel like you can, unless you got a couple, maybe you got a couple different ones. Yes. And you can tell one to go kickbox.
Yeah. Okay.
And whatnot. Because this one pays this bill, this one pays that bill. But I'm with you, going back to what we talked about. What's wrong with you inside here if you think that's all what you're worth?
That is why, for me, it's a scary time for people to want to just be a side piece, male or female, or just be the old dude in the club who, oh yeah, I get to do this and I get to do that. At some point, you're home alone. At some point, you're going to get old and need somebody to push you in the wheelchair, take care of you when you're sick. And maybe you're affluent enough to where you could pay somebody to do that. Great. If you're not, make good choices.
Yeah, because it's only a few of y'all at the club, leaving the club in, a Mercedes or a Bentley or something like that. A lot of y'all, y'all rode together.
Yes. 4-5 deep.
And the one who's driving is asking for gas money. So,
but you're living your best life.
Get at it. You and I talked about this before. At a certain point when I was younger, it even got old for me then. And I took a whole year off from dating, from having sex with anyone. And it was one of the best years of my life. It was so good for me at that time because what it made me do without me even really realizing it was made me just be by myself.
Learning to love yourself.
Not just learning to love myself, but also saying, yeah, okay, I remember some mistakes I made. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't someone else. That was me doing that.
Listen, we talk about that all the time. Like in past relationships, I can say, oh, I did that wrong. Mm-hmm. I did this. I should have did this. I've had to apologize later on and be like, I'm sorry, I wasn't mature enough to understand what that relationship meant, whether it's marriage or just dating somebody, or being strong enough to wait for what you truly say you want. Mm-hmm. If you say, I deserve this, then wait for that. Don't settle for less. And if you're going to settle, then be okay with the settlement and not be trying to make that person into what you want them to.
Yeah, because, I mean, for me, and I'm speaking for me, the other part of the self-discovery is to what you're saying, is to understand, to use your word settling. Mm-hmm. I'm settling because I want this. Mm-hmm. Like I'm sitting listening to nonsensical conversations. I'm inviting people over to my place that I normally wouldn't even talk to for long periods of time because I'm trying to get this end result. More importantly, this end result really isn't that different than the end result I got with the other person. You know, at a certain point for any of us, you have to say sex is just sex. And the end of it is just like it was with the other person. So what am I really doing here? And I'm gonna let you ladies in on something else. When your man is done, we're like, if he ain't into you, he's done with you. Like, there's no conversation he wants to have. He doesn't need to look at you. There's no part of him that wants to be attached to you after the deed is done. And for me, it was, I think I'm just tired of living this life at this moment.
But that's when you have to understand where you are in life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good with, I didn't go on a year sabbatical. I maybe did it for a week or two. I wasn't as strong as you, but
it wasn't about being strong. It was
it's what you needed to figure it out. For me, I needed to figure out was, why am I doing this? Why is the result is the same? Mm-hmm. And I thought I did something different, when in reality, I went sideways down the same street that I went one way down.
Yep.
And realizing, okay, I have to change. I had to be different. I have to want more and require what I require, and be okay if you're not willing to give me that.
That's good too.
Okay. This is what, again, because I hear there's a standard. I have a standard and I'm not settling for less than that. Okay, great. Are you able to meet those same standards though?
Right.
If you say, I want a dude that makes this and look like this and this, what do you look like?
Yes.
Because I don't care if you make $700,000 a year. If you look like a troll, you're still a troll.
Yeah, it definitely goes back to what you're saying with the Kevin Samuel, and I was not as big a fan as some others were, partially because it was just harsh sometimes to hear this man be on speak to some of these women, though some of them probably had to hear it this way maybe, but they have that woman call up and say, I work at whatever supermarket and I got 6 kids and 3 different daddies, and just to hear the stats that she would give about herself, and then follow it up with, but I'm a queen and I deserve, and I'm looking for a man who does.
Yes.
And he was a little harsh. His delivery method was a little much for me at times, but he wasn't saying anything wrong. And it goes back to what you're saying. If these are your stats, how can you be looking for someone with these stats?
Just unrealistic. And I think that the TV, or you see somebody whom you think has achieved, again, a lot of people see trophy wives and don't understand that being a trophy wife requires you to accept a lot of stuff just so you could be put on the pedestal or the mantle. Like, I shine you up when I go out, and then I put you back on the mantle, and then I come back to you.
And in between.
Yes. And that is not understood. You just saw him walk the runway with this lady, or she walked it with this dude. So you think, oh, this is great. But I say this about a lot of pro athletes or entertainers. You know that women or men are coming at your spouse. Are you able, I can use myself. People see the light in me and think it's, and don't understand that comes with a whole lot of stuff that you don't see or understand. You just see a light and think, oh, it's pretty. Ooh, that's shiny. And don't know that also has a reflection. So being an entertainer, a star, there are women or men coming at your better half all the time. Are you an insecure person? Are you understanding and have trust in your spouse? Or are you, are all of these things going to affect you? Because again, people who are making 6 figures and above have a light and an aura about them. They walk in the room and everybody wants to be around that person.
Yeah. And there's a lot that comes with it. And are you able to adapt?
Yeah.
And for these relationships who are on that other end, to kind of where we started, most likely you're going to be told, shh.
Yeah.
Because I pay for everything. I flew you in, I fly you out.
Yeah.
I pay for that bill. I pay for this bill. That doesn't mean we're not equal. And you messed up by thinking we're equal. I try to remind people sometimes, and I say this even for myself, not in terms of my marriage, but in terms of my ecosystem, if I can use that. I'm me, and for you're the backup. I'm Justin Timberlake. Everybody else is fucking back in NSYNC. And for me, and for a lot of people who are trying to get to where I'm trying to get to, that's just the way that it is. No harm, no foul, don't mean anything by it, but that's just the way it is. And for some of you folks out there, your mother told you that you were going to be the star and should have been the star of the third grade Romeo and Juliet play. No, Mrs. Richardson casted you right as tree number 3.
Yes.
Get your ass out the light and get to the back in that corner where you're supposed to be in your little tree costume.
Everybody can't be the star.
You can't
Just
do it.
like everybody can't be an entrepreneur. I'm my own boss. You don't want to get up and work. So how can you, what are you going to do? I'm a podcaster. Like I see thousands of people saying, well, yeah, I'm an influencer. Who are you influencing? You got 3 people following you and 2 of them are your cousin.
I went to a high school graduation, and it used to be the kids when they, what is this kid going to do? College, military, whatever, go work for his dad, whatever it was. I don't know how many of these kids it was influencer. And the first time I heard it, I was like, what is that?
I didn't even know what it was. I had to see.
I knew what it was, but how was that something that, where are your parents? I would smack my child if you said, you wrote influencer, this is what they going to say.
Yeah.
You better put anything else down. Bagger at grocery store better be out your mouth before influencer.
No, I get it because there's a kid who has like 20 million followers and he plays games or unpacks toys.
Right. If you're already there, then you're there.
Yes. But to start off knowing that, one, you don't like to talk, you can't speak good English, or you look like a bag of rocks. What is going to make you an influencer? You can't influence your family, your dog to sit when you tell him to.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be an influencer. And I get it. It's great to dream. But sometimes you have to take the dream and the reality and mix them two together and figure out, oh, this is what I'm going to be good at. I can't play sports. I'm only 4'11". I'm not going to make it in the NBA.
Maybe you find your way to influencer by accident by putting in some hard work at something else.
Yes.
Maybe we can do that. Maybe that will help you become a Kendrick Lamar or a Drake or who I get rid of, Lil Wayne.
You can be an influencer. Again, if you said Rick Ross. Rick Ross made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So now I can influence you, whether I made it hook, crook, then I have some influence.
100%.
But do something that make somebody want to follow you.
100%. 100%. Talking about music, talking about Kendrick and Lil Wayne, Rick Ross and everybody. Kendrick was picked to do the Super Bowl halftime show. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people did and still take exception to it because the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And everybody, including Lil Wayne, I believe, because he put up a video where he was
tight,
some tears.
Yeah.
Assumed that it would be him who would do the Super Bowl halftime show. And instead it is Kendrick Lamar. Do you have a problem? New Orleans, Super Bowl, and Kendrick Lamar is who they picked. And when I say they, Jay-Z and his team picked to do the show.
My understanding is that most Super Bowls halftime people are not hometown people. Okay. And I would think that if I was the one picked, that I would have made sure, especially as a rap artist, that I'm gonna throw a bone to Weezy. But when you make an uproar about it and spit in the face of the folks that I'm gonna have to come to and say, yeah, I'm gonna throw Weezy in, but you spit in their face instead of just being quiet, you Weezy, you could make a phone call, back channel that, yo, can you get me down? Can you throw me something? This is my hometown, something. Because when 50 wasn't going to be in it, And Marshall said, well, if he's not in it, I'm not in it.
Yep.
So that was the blueprint last year.
Yeah.
Or the year before.
Yeah.
So there's a blueprint to doing it the right way. And this is when I think that sometimes we forget how to play the game. And you just think, I'm such and such, so I'm supposed to. This is the not being told no stuff.
Right.
It's just supposed to be me. Why wouldn't you pick anybody else? Well, why does it? Who said it had to be you?
And you're right. And I have no problem with it not being Lil Wayne because Kendrick Lamar had a year. They not like us.
Yeah, they was playing in old folks' homes.
Look, I like Lil Wayne. Ton of hits. His catalog is bananas.
Yes,
and he could have easily done it.
Yes,
but how do you look past and not just the fact that Kendrick is super talented and has a catalog himself? How do you overlook this summer where Drake and Kendrick overtook the music scene?
Yeah,
overtook the entire world. With that battle.
It was on the news.
You cannot ignore that. So Kendrick had to be the guy.
Who else right now, besides Taylor Swift, everybody knows.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other part, though, too, and we throw this in and I'll let you go back to it. The other part that people didn't know until they kind of put it out, Drake actually turned it down twice.
Yes.
And Drake could have done it and brought whoever he wanted to bring out with him, including Lil Wayne, including Nicki, whoever he wanted.
I don't understand why you turned it down, but maybe if the cost is too much for you. I get it, because we don't know what the cost is.
I think after the summer he had, that's why
they offered it to him before this summer when he was doing it.
Okay.
He said no. They didn't offer it to him now. Like, why are we going to offer it to the second team when we got the first team?
Look, I'm looking forward to it, and maybe Kendrick will bring Lil Wayne out too. I don't know. I have no idea what this show is going to look like. Now, I will say this also. They've only got me captured to sit and watch the Super Bowl. The last couple. Yeah. The Usher show was great. I liked it a lot. Rihanna was okay. The one with 50 and Eminem and everybody married. I thought that was absolutely probably top 5, top 3 shows ever.
Yes.
Even with Jay-Z, even though there's better entertainment than they've had in years past, I'm still not someone who just sits and watches the halftime show. I'd rather watch the commercials.
We go get some food.
Yeah.
That's when you run to the bathroom. Again, I have enjoyed, as an older head, I could say some of the rock and roll, throwbacks, but I think that they needed to mix it up.
Yeah.
And to reflect more of not just the culture, but society as a whole. So, maybe they can split it in half and not just do one or the other. I
don't think you need to split shit in half. Hip hop is in every damn commercial now.
Yes.
Everything. Yeah, they using hip hop to sell everything from cars to Cheerios.
Yes. And again, as you said, the summer that Kendrick had, like that song was on everything, was playing everywhere. So right now, he's the hottest thing going. Again, the only person hotter than him is Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And
don't remind me every time I get my wife's card.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, Tamara, I said Taylor Swift with respect.
Here you go.
Put some respect on my name.
I'm just waiting for that fake relationship to finally break.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Listen, again. But did you see Segue? Sorry, I know we didn't talk about this.
No, what's up?
His ex talking about, do I look like I'll do half? Because supposedly Travis and her broke up because she wasn't willing to go 50-50 on things. She thought he was supposed to pay for everything.
Did she have a job? What does she do?
She's famous? I think she's a influencer.
You can
a fashion model or something like that. Okay. She or sells lashes or she does something. She was making money. She wasn't making his money. It's like the Tonight Show dude when him and his wife were getting divorced, and she said, "Well, I made $50. Well, 20 million and 50."
Johnny Carson.
Yes.
Look, bro. This is going back to what we said. You can make all the decisions you want to. I hope you still can sell eyelashes. Yes. Because if you had to pay half, well, I don't know if he would even have that deal now. Because now I'm getting ready to say, because that 9-figure deal that he and his brother Jason have for the podcast, does he have that deal without being with Taylor Swift? I say no.
No. No, but again, it's business decisions. You made a business decision and said, I'm not giving up no money. I'm not paying for half or a quarter or nothing.
Okay.
And Cameron and Mace give you credit. He was like, how dare you say, even put your mouth to say that? What does that make you? And what did that decision do for you now? You doing podcasts and he made 7-figure deal.
Even if he doesn't get that deal with the podcast,
he was getting a deal. Him and his brother were. They were set up.
They would have something. Yeah. They would have got something. Their podcast was doing well. So to your point, to Mace and Cameron's business deal.
Yeah. Again, who came out better?
It ain't just about sex. No. It ain't just about the I love you. Yeah. Business deal.
Especially when you said, no, I'm not willing to get. Again, if you didn't have half, if you said, I'm going to pay something, that's all I want is for you to respect me enough to say, you know what, baby, you've been holding me for a minute. Let me hold you down. Because what are you doing with your money? Your money's just trick money?
And that's what I'm saying. You got me with it when she said, do I look like I'm somebody who would pay half?
When she said it, I was like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Checkmate.
You don't look like somebody who lives here or rides in this car or flies here or whatever. Mm-hmm. Not on my dime anyway. Mm-hmm. So go get your basketball. Was there a football? They should do a Football Wives show. They should let the Kansas City Chiefs wife be the head of it.
Oh, yeah. What's her name? Mahomes?
She can get on there.
Homeboy's wife?
Matt Stafford's wife can get on there. Because both of them sound like a brother.
Oh, bro. Matt. Oh.
I remember when they came to Detroit last year for the playoffs, the Rams, and she was upset that they would not give her and her family a box at Ford Field. You don't play here.
The stuff that has come out in the last year and a half.
Oh, bro.
I couldn't have been in the same locker room with him. I'd had him in tears.
Because you're a bully, though.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, come on, man.
You're a bully.
Your wife said, what?
You're a bully, Matt Stafford.
Oh, yeah. I broke up with him because he wasn't acting right, and I went with the backup. And you told people about that?
Yeah, that was rough.
12 years, 20 years later? Like, oh, you dragging me through the mud, ma. And then she won't just let it go. She keeps.
Yeah, some shit don't need to be said.
Yeah, you trying to be. I'm the star.
And they go back.
Yeah, but like you said, background. She should be a background dancer and don't understand that. Listen, again, they got kids. They got to hear this.
Look, one great thing about my marriage, I get in the background when I need to when it comes to my wife and her achievements, and vice versa. And neither one of us have a problem with it. And I love it because I've been with women who were the opposite, and it is a problem. Yes. It is a problem.
You got to be able to be a cheerleader for your spouse.
Real quick before we get up out of here, I see you wearing it. I see you wearing your merch. You want to shout it out where they can get it?
DavidsMark.com.
What you about, bro?
Firearms instructor. Come on out, Arizona, Phoenix, or if you coming into the Phoenix area, come on out. We'll train you up, get you out there, have some fun. Train you to be safe and smart with your firearms.
That's what's up. David's Mark. That's Davids Mark.
Yes.
Mark, right?
Yes.
All right. Mark.com. Go check it out. I said it before. I'll say it again. The wife and I, we both took the class. It was great. He and Justin, well informed, and they'll get you settled right.
Get you right.
If you're bringing your own weapon, you clean it first before you
firearm.
I'm sorry, your fire. Yeah. If you're bringing your own firearm, make sure you clean it first.
Yeah. Don't be like our brother.
Hey. Yeah, I had to say firearm. He corrected me on that because, again, I'm trying to get used to this social media stuff with the videos. Again, I'm going to be in Columbus this coming weekend. I'm going to the game. I'm going to have a great time in Buckeye Country. I'm performing at the Forum on Friday. Come on out. Check me out. Go to Sidney Smith Creative, CRE8TIV. Get those tickets. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to go ahead and click that little bell right there so you can be alerted to everything. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there in Columbus. Then I'm in Michigan. Then I'm back here closing out the year at the Improv. So we'll talk about all that too. And we're going to try to do another one next week.
Yes, sir.
I think I fly back in on Sunday. So we should be doing another one. We'll see you guys next week.
This week's drop.
Have a good week.